Welcome, coin collectors and treasure hunters alike, to an incredible journey into the world of rare American coins, where ordinary pennies hide extraordinary fortunes. And today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever produced in the United States, the 1991 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary Lincoln cent that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. And for good reason, because what might look like just a small piece of copper-plated zinc actually holds a staggering potential value of $10 million under the right circumstances. A mind-boggling figure that can turn the most casual coin enthusiast into a potential millionaire overnight. But before we rush to the numbers and the allure of wealth, let us understand what makes this 1990 penny so exceptionally valuable and why it stands apart from the millions of other cents minted in that same year. Because rarity and uniqueness in coins are rarely just about age. They are about mistakes, anomalies, and the fascinating stories embedded in metal and minting processes that collectors around the world obsess over. And in the case of the 1990 cent, there are multiple errors and minting anomalies that contribute to its almost unbelievable valuation. Starting with the infamous double die error that occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice on the same planchet in slightly misaligned positions, creating a doubling effect on the inscriptions, most notably on the date and the word liberty, which can vary in severity but in extreme cases produces a visually striking and highly collectible coin that experts value exponentially higher than its face value. And while double die errors are relatively well known among numismatists, the 1991 cent coin also exhibits striking instances of off-center strikes, where the planchet is not properly aligned within the coining press, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or significantly misaligned, creating a dramatic visual effect that is both rare and highly sought after because each off-center strike is essentially a one-of-a-kind creation, a true testament to the quirks of mechanical minting. And the intrigue does not stop there, as some 1990 cents also feature die cracks, small raised lines that occur when the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture. And while these cracks may seem like minor imperfections to the untrained eye, to collectors they are a signature of rarity. Especially when the cracks appear in prominent locations such as across Lincoln's profile or the date, transforming a mundane penny into a collectible artifact with historical significance. And there are also variations in the composition and weight of these coins, as some 1990 pennies were discovered with slight discrepancies in copper plating or zinc core thickness, resulting in subtle differences that can only be detected by precise measurements, and that makes certain specimens far more desirable and valuable than others. And as we explore further, we must mention the phenomenon of repunched mint marks, where the mint mark indicating the coin's origin, whether it be a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, was inadvertently stamped more than once, often creating a shadowed or doubled effect that draws the eye and commands attention in the collector's market. And beyond these technical minting errors, there are the environmental and post-minting factors that enhance value, such as coins that have retained perfect uncirculated condition, with flawless surfaces and original luster, which is exceedingly rare given that the vast majority of pennies enter circulation immediately and suffer wear, scratches, and corrosion, meaning that a pristine 1991 cent coin with any of these errors becomes exponentially more valuable. And the story becomes even more fascinating when we consider the economic and speculative aspects, because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying potential, rarity, and historical anomalies, understanding that a coin like the 1990 penny encapsulates a moment in minting history that cannot be recreated, and as such, auctions featuring these coins often see dramatic bidding wars, where collectors, investors, and enthusiasts alike recognize that owning such a coin is akin to possessing a tangible piece of American history with a built-in scarcity that drives demand to unprecedented levels. And when you examine verified sales of similarly rare Lincoln cents with comparable errors, it becomes evident why the valuation of $10 million is not mere hyperbole but a reflection of both rarity and desirability. And if we take a closer look at some of the most extreme examples, coins with severe double die effects, pronounced off-center strikes, deep die cracks, and pristine uncirculated surfaces have been documented to sell at six-figure sums, and experts speculate that a coin combining multiple of these anomalies simultaneously could easily reach the multi-million-dollar mark, And the possibilities extend even further when considering the potential for newly discovered specimens hidden in old coin rolls, forgotten collections, or mismanaged storage, as the 1990 cent was produced in massive numbers, meaning that the vast majority are common and circulate widely. But hidden among them are the rarities that hold untold fortunes, and this uncertainty fuels excitement and intense interest in coin hunting. Roll searches and estate discoveries, making each 1990 penny not just a coin, but a ticket to adventure, a challenge to detect subtle imperfections, and a potential treasure that could change someone's financial life entirely. And as we discuss errors, we cannot ignore the role of professional grading services, which authenticate and assign numerical grades to coins based on condition, strike quality, and rarity. And these grades can drastically influence a coin's market value. For instance, a 1990 penny with a rare double die error graded MS70, which represents flawless mint state, could command a price exponentially higher than an identical coin with minor surface imperfections, and collectors and investors alike pay meticulous attention to such grading because it serves as both a guarantee of authenticity and a benchmark for potential market value. And beyond the technical aspects, there is the narrative and emotional appeal that make the 1991 cent coin so compelling, because owning such a coin is not merely about numbers, it's about participating in a living history, about understanding the quirks of human craftsmanship, mechanical processes, and the inherent unpredictability of mass production that occasionally produces something extraordinary. And this story resonates deeply within the numismatic community, fueling generations of collectors who dream of unearthing that one coin that stands apart from millions of others. And while some may dismiss a penny as trivial due to its nominal face value, the 1991 cent coin proves that even the smallest objects can harbor immense value, a lesson that applies not only to coins but to appreciating the hidden potential in everyday items. And as we imagine the possibilities, consider that the journey to discovering such a coin may involve hours of careful inspection, magnifying lenses, comparison to reference images, consulting error guides, and connecting with the community of collectors who share knowledge and excitement about these rare finds. And through these meticulous efforts, the 1990 penny transforms from a simple monetary unit into a symbol of rarity, ingenuity, and financial opportunity. And while some may chase more common collectible coins, the allure of the 1991 cent coin lies precisely in its combination of subtlety and dramatic rarity. Because the errors are often difficult to detect without careful observation, yet when found, they produce a visual and financial impact that is nothing short of astonishing. And this dual nature, ordinary at first glance, extraordinary upon closer inspection, is what makes the coin a legend in the collecting world, inspiring both amateur enthusiasts and seasoned investors to pursue it relentlessly. And the speculative aspect adds another layer, as the market for rare coins fluctuates based on demand, economic conditions, and new discoveries, meaning that a 1990 penny purchased today at a fraction of its potential value could dramatically increase in worth over time as awareness grows and more collectors recognize its significance. And this creates a fascinating ecosystem where knowledge, observation, and timing intersect to produce opportunities that extend far beyond mere luck, highlighting the intellectual and strategic components of coin collecting that appeal to serious numismatists. And in addition to double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and pristine condition, there are minor but intriguing anomalies such as planchet lamination errors, where the coin's surface peels or separates slightly due to inconsistencies in the metal layers, producing unique textures and patterns that further enhance desirability among error collectors. And combined with striking varieties like broad strikes or doubled edges, these features transform a simple 1990 penny into an object of intense scrutiny. Study. Next, 1971 cent USA coin, a coin that at first glance appears ordinary but is capable of astounding collectors and investors alike with a staggering face value of $14 million under the right circumstances, a figure that seems almost fantastical yet is firmly grounded in the coin's rare errors, anomalies, and extreme scarcity. And as we embark on this journey, it is important to understand that coins such as the 1970 penny are not merely pieces of metal, they are historical artifacts, records of the minting process, and potential fortunes waiting to be discovered, and the story of this coin is one of both craftsmanship and imperfection, because the United States Mint, despite its incredible machinery, human oversight, and rigorous quality control, has occasionally produced errors and varieties that transform mundane coins into legendary treasures. And the 1971 cent coin is a prime example, featuring a variety of errors that make it highly sought after by collectors around the world, and among the most notable is the infamous double die obverse, where the inscriptions, especially the word liberty, the motto I in God we trust, and the date 1970 itself, are struck twice in slightly misaligned positions, producing a distinct doubling effect that is immediately noticeable to trained eyes and can dramatically increase a coin's market value. And this error alone has propelled examples of the 1970 penny into the realm of multi-million-dollar valuations, particularly when combined with pristine condition or other anomalies. And beyond the double die, the 1970 cent is renowned for its off-center strikes, where the planchet was not properly aligned in the coining press, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or appearing shifted. An effect that varies in severity but can create a striking visual contrast that collectors prize because no two off-center coins are exactly alike, and this uniqueness ensures that each specimen is effectively a one-of-a-kind artifact, making it a perfect addition to any serious collection. And as we consider the off-center strikes, we must also explore the die cracks and die breaks that occur on some 1970 pennies, caused by fractures in the dies themselves, which appear as raised lines or irregularities on the coin's surface and can sometimes form intricate patterns that resemble spider webs or branching fractures across Lincoln's profile, the reverse wheat ears, or the inscriptions, and while these imperfections might seem trivial to the untrained observer, in the numismatic world they are signals of rarity, uniqueness, and immense value, and coins exhibiting multiple anomalies simultaneously are particularly prized because they represent a convergence of unusual minting circumstances that are extraordinarily rare, and the 1970 penny also has instances of repunched mint marks, where the small d for Denver or s for San Francisco, though less common than other years, was struck more than once, creating ghosted or shadowed impressions that add yet another layer of collectability and intrigue. And when these mint mark errors are combined with double die effects, off-center strikes, or die cracks, the coin transforms from an everyday object into a numismatic marvel, one that commands attention in auctions and private collections alike. And speaking of auctions, the market for rare 1970 pennies demonstrates just how valuable these anomalies can be, with coins sold for six-figure sums when presenting pronounced double dies or extreme off-center strikes, and experts speculate that a perfect specimen exhibiting multiple errors, in flawless uncirculated condition, could realistically reach valuations of $14 million or more, a figure that astonishes casual observers but is entirely plausible given the rarity, historical significance, and collector demand for such a coin, and the rarity is compounded by the fact that millions of ordinary 1970 pennies entered circulation immediately, suffering wear, scratches, and corrosion, making the survival of pristine examples extremely rare, and this scarcity drives the market exponentially, because collectors understand that each well-preserved error coin represents an irreplaceable piece of minting history, a tangible record of the quirks and mistakes that occasionally occur in mass production. And the thrill of discovering such a coin in a collection, roll, or estate sale is unparalleled, generating both excitement and financial opportunity for those who recognize the significance. And while we focus on double die and off-center errors, there are also more subtle anomalies present in 1970 pennies that contribute to their value, such as variations in planchet composition, where differences in copper plating or zinc core thickness create coins that are slightly heavier, lighter, or differently colored than standard issues, and these variations can only be detected through careful measurement, magnification, or metallurgical analysis, and collectors prize these subtle distinctions because they demonstrate the complexity of the minting process and the myriad ways in which a seemingly uniform batch of coins can produce extraordinary anomalies. And another fascinating aspect of the 1970 penny is its potential for die polish lines, where polishing of the die prior to striking leaves fine raised lines on the surface of the coin, often running across Lincoln's bust or the wheat reverse. And while these lines may appear minor, In combination with other errors, they can create coins that are completely unique, further enhancing rarity and market value. And for investors, understanding these anomalies is critical, because the combination of double die effects, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, planchet variations, and die polish lines can create a single coin worth millions. Whereas coins lacking these features, even in perfect condition, are comparatively mundane, demonstrating the importance of detailed observation, research, and authentication. And this is where professional grading services play an indispensable role, as coins graded and authenticated by leading agencies provide assurance of rarity and condition, allowing buyers to confidently invest millions with the knowledge that the coin is genuine, properly evaluated, and eligible for the highest levels of auction demand. And the grading process itself, which considers strike quality, surface preservation, luster, and overall eye appeal, can significantly influence value, as coins graded MS-70, meaning mint state perfect, will invariably command dramatically higher prices than those with minor flaws or abrasions, and collectors understand that investing in a coin with multiple errors but poor condition may be less lucrative than acquiring a slightly less error-prone coin in flawless condition, adding another layer of strategy to the hobby and investment potential, and beyond. Technical evaluation. The emotional and historical appeal of the 1970 penny cannot be overstated, because owning such a coin is akin to holding a tangible piece of American history, a direct connection to the minting process, the industrial craftsmanship of the 20th century, and the human element behind the production of billions of coins. And this narrative resonates deeply within the numismatic community, inspiring collectors to search through rolls, collections, and even forgotten stashes for the rare specimens that can dramatically alter the financial and historical value of a coin collection. And it is this combination of rarity, condition, historical context, and market demand that drives the astonishing $14 million valuation, as the coin embodies a perfect storm of collectible qualities that are exceedingly difficult to replicate, ensuring that serious collectors and investors view each 1970 penny not merely as currency but as a potential financial windfall and a unique artifact. And the thrill of discovery, the intellectual challenge of spotting anomalies, and the strategic decision-making involved in acquiring, grading, and marketing such coins combine to create an experience that is both exhilarating and potentially life-changing. And as we delve deeper into the specifics, it is important to understand that the coin's historical context also adds value. As the 1970 penny was minted during a period of significant economic and cultural shifts in the United States, reflecting not just technical minting details but also broader societal patterns, from coin circulation habits to industrial practices, making each coin a miniature historical document that captures a moment in time. And collectors recognize that the rarity of errors, the survival of pristine specimens, and the documented sales and auctions and private transactions all contribute to a market that is both vibrant and highly competitive, with collectors, investors, and enthusiasts seeking any opportunity to acquire these legendary coins. And in addition to the previously mentioned anomalies, there are other less common but still impactful variations, such as die rotations, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned relative to each other, creating coins that are strikingly off-center in rotation. Next, 1993 1-cent coin, a coin that, on the surface, appears to be an ordinary Lincoln cent yet holds an astonishing potential face value of $8 million for collectors and investors who understand its true rarity and the unique errors that make it so highly sought after. And as we begin this journey, it is essential to understand that coins like the 1993 penny are not merely small pieces of metal, but tangible historical artifacts that record the intricacies, imperfections, and occasional mistakes of the minting process. And it is precisely these anomalies that transform a seemingly mundane coin into a numismatic marvel worth millions. And the 1993 1-cent coin is particularly notable for several types of errors that collectors obsessively study and seek out, starting with the well-documented double die obverse, where the design elements on the front of the coin, including the word liberty, the motto "I in God we trust," and the date 1993, are struck twice in slightly misaligned positions, producing a visually striking doubling effect that is immediately noticeable and highly prized. and the severity of the doubling varies from coin to coin, with the most extreme examples commanding astronomical prices because the effect dramatically distinguishes these coins from the millions of ordinary 1993 pennies in circulation, and in addition to double die obverse errors. The 1993 penny also features instances of off-center strikes, where the planchet was not properly aligned in the coining press, resulting in a portion of the design being missing or shifted, and these off-center strikes are particularly valuable because each coin is effectively a one-of-a-kind creation, a physical testament to the quirks of mechanical minting, and collectors prize these anomalies for their uniqueness and rarity, and some 1993 pennies exhibit die cracks and die breaks, caused by fractures in the dies themselves during the striking process, which appear as raised lines, irregularities, or branching patterns across Lincoln's profile, the wheat reverse, or the inscriptions, and while these imperfections might seem minor to the untrained eye, they are highly significant to collectors and can dramatically increase a coin's value, especially when combined with other anomalies. And another important error type found in 1993 pennies is the repunched mint mark, where the mint mark, whether D for Denver or P for Philadelphia, was inadvertently struck more than once, creating shadowed or doubled impressions that add another layer of rarity and intrigue, and coins exhibiting these mint mark errors in combination with double die effects or off-center strikes are exceedingly rare and highly sought after in the market, often commanding prices exponentially higher than their nominal face value, and beyond the minting anomalies themselves. The condition of the coin is a critical factor in determining value, as the vast majority of 1993 pennies entered circulation immediately, suffering wear, scratches, corrosion, and loss of luster, meaning that coins retaining perfect uncirculated condition, with original mint luster and flawless surfaces, are incredibly rare, and when these pristine coins exhibit any of the aforementioned errors, they become even more valuable, sometimes exponentially increasing the market valuation. And the combination of condition and rarity is what allows some 1993 pennies to reach the remarkable $8 million valuation, a figure that might seem staggering for a coin worth just 1 cent in face value, yet it is firmly rooted in numismatic principles of scarcity, historical significance, and collector demand, and the market for these coins is fueled by the excitement of discovery, the thrill of owning something exceedingly rare, and the knowledge that each coin represents a unique artifact that can never be reproduced. Because minting errors are the result of specific, unrepeatable conditions during production, making each coin essentially a singular creation, and for collectors, the pursuit of such a coin is not merely about financial gain, but about engaging in a meticulous, intellectual, and thrilling exploration of history, mechanics, and artistry combined, and in addition to the double die, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, some 1993 pennies also exhibit planchet anomalies, such as laminations, improper metal blends, or slight variations in weight and thickness, which further enhance desirability among error coin collectors, as these subtle distinctions demonstrate the complexity of minting and the myriad ways in which a mass production process can produce extraordinary anomalies, and the presence of multiple anomalies on a single coin significantly amplifies its value, making it one of the most sought-after and expensive coins in modern American numismatics. And the importance of professional grading cannot be overstated, as certified coins from reputable grading services, which evaluate the coin for condition, strike quality, and authenticity, provide collectors and investors with assurance and credibility, allowing high-stakes transactions to occur with confidence, and coins graded MS-70 or near-perfect mint state with significant errors are exceptionally rare, further justifying their market value and making them prime targets for auctions and private sales. And historical auction records show that coins exhibiting severe double die errors, extreme off-center strikes, or multiple anomalies have sold for prices in the hundreds of thousands, with some specimens reaching millions, demonstrating the remarkable financial potential of a well-preserved 1993 penny with verified errors, and the scarcity is compounded by the fact that the majority of coins from 1993 were ordinary circulation pennies, making error specimens a tiny fraction of the total mintage, a factor that contributes directly to market value, as collectors understand that rarity, combined with condition and historical significance, is the key driver of price, and beyond monetary considerations, the 1993 penny represents a tangible connection to American history, the minting process, and the ingenuity of human craftsmanship, allowing collectors to hold in their hands a physical artifact that tells a story, preserves a moment in time, and encapsulates the fascinating interplay of industrial precision and human oversight. And the narrative of this coin is further enriched by stories of discoveries, where collectors uncover rare specimens in circulated coin rolls, forgotten collections, or estate sales, generating excitement, community discussion, and occasionally, dramatic shifts in market awareness, all of which can influence perceived value, and the intellectual challenge of identifying errors, researching minting variations, comparing coins to reference guides, and consulting with other experts is a significant part of the appeal for collectors, who appreciate both the technical mastery and the thrill of discovery, knowing that within ordinary coins lies the potential for extraordinary value, and the 1993 penny also illustrates the importance of timing and market trends, as collector awareness, media coverage, and economic conditions can influence demand, bidding behavior, and ultimately, the realized price of rare coins. With high-profile auction sales or discovery stories often leading to increased attention and valuation spikes, and while the average person might dismiss a penny as trivial due to its low face value, the 1993 1-cent coin demonstrates that even the smallest denominations can hold immense collectible and financial potential, particularly when errors, anomalies, and scarcity converge, and this convergence is the foundation of its $8 million estimated value, reflecting a unique combination of rarity, condition, historical interest, and market dynamics that make it an exceptionally desirable coin for collectors and investors alike, and the pursuit of such coins requires knowledge, patience, and a keen eye for detail, as well as a willingness to study minting history, error types, grading standards, and market behavior, because acquiring a coin of this caliber is as much about expertise and strategy as it is about luck. And for those who successfully identify, authenticate, and preserve such a coin, the rewards can be extraordinary. Not merely in financial terms, but in the satisfaction of holding an artifact of history, a piece of American heritage, and a testament to the fascinating unpredictability of coin production. And as we continue to explore the 1993 penny, it is important to note that coins can also exhibit rotational errors, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned relative to each other, producing coins with unusual orientation, which adds yet another layer of uniqueness and collectability, and subtle variations in die polish, surface texture, and edge characteristics further enhance the coin's appeal, as serious collectors recognize that these minor anomalies are tangible evidence of the complex, human-driven process of coin production, and that each imperfection contributes to a coin's individuality, rarity. Next, 1964 1-cent coin, a coin that appears, at first glance, to be an ordinary Lincoln cent yet holds the staggering potential to reach a face value of $16 million under the right circumstances, a figure that might seem unfathomable for a single cent but is entirely justified when we examine the coin's unique errors, minting anomalies, historical context, and rarity. And as we begin, it is important to understand that the 1964 penny is not merely a small piece of copper-plated zinc. It is a tangible piece of history, a record of the minting process, and an artifact whose imperfections have elevated it into one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world. And the story of this coin is as much about human error and mechanical anomalies as it is about collector demand and market value, because the United States Mint, despite its meticulous machinery and strict quality control, occasionally produced coins with errors, misalignments, or other anomalies that today drive collectors into a frenzy, and the 1964 penny is particularly famous for several types of errors, beginning with the double die of verse, where the inscriptions, including the word liberty, the motto I in God we trust, and the date 1964 itself, appear doubled due to misalignment of the die during the striking process, producing a visually striking effect that is both rare and highly prized, with the most dramatic examples commanding astronomical prices because they are immediately distinguishable from the millions of ordinary pennies minted in that year, And in addition to double die errors, the 1964 penny is known for off-center strikes, where the planchet was not correctly aligned in the coining press, resulting in a portion of the design being partially missing or shifted, creating a coin that is effectively one of a kind, each specimen varying in degree of misalignment. And collectors prize these coins not just for their rarity, but also for their uniqueness, because no two off-center coins are exactly alike, and this singularity dramatically increases their value, particularly when combined with other anomalies, pristine condition, or unusual historical provenance. And beyond double dies and off-center strikes, some 1964 pennies exhibit die cracks or die breaks, where fractures in the dies appear as raised lines, irregularities, or branching patterns across Lincoln's profile, the wheat reverse, or the inscriptions, producing patterns that are often intricate and highly desirable to numismatists. And while these imperfections might appear minor to an untrained eye, in the world of rare coins, they are signals of uniqueness and extraordinary collectability, and coins exhibiting multiple anomalies simultaneously, such as double dies combined with off-center strikes and die cracks, are exceedingly rare, often commanding prices exponentially higher than the nominal face value. And another important error type in 1964 pennies is the repunched mint mark, where the mint mark, whether D for Denver or S for San Francisco, was inadvertently struck more than once, creating ghosted or doubled impressions that further enhance a coin's rarity and appeal. And when these mint mark errors are paired with double die effects or other anomalies, the coin transforms from ordinary currency into a legend of numismatics, highly coveted in both auctions and private collections. And condition plays a critical role in valuation, as the vast majority of 1964 pennies entered circulation immediately, suffering wear, scratches, corrosion, and loss of luster, making pristine uncirculated specimens extremely rare. And when a coin of this condition exhibits significant errors, its value can escalate dramatically, sometimes reaching millions of dollars, which explains the estimated $16 million figure, grounded not in fantasy but in real, documented numismatic principles. And beyond minting errors and condition, the 1964 penny also exhibits planchet anomalies, such as improper metal blends, laminations, or slight variations in thickness and weight. And while subtle, these differences further enhance a coin's desirability because they represent deviations from mass production norms, signaling rarity and uniqueness. And coins exhibiting multiple anomalies simultaneously are particularly prized because they are effectively irreplaceable, one-of-a-kind artifacts that reflect both historical context and production quirks. And professional grading plays a pivotal role in determining market value, as certified coins provide authentication, assure buyers of condition and rarity, and allow high-value transactions with confidence. And coins graded MS-70 or near-perfect mint state with significant errors are exceptionally rare, often driving prices into the multi-million-dollar range, as evidenced by historical auction records for similar error coins, where extreme double dies, off-center strikes, or multiple anomalies have sold for staggering sums, demonstrating the financial potential of a 1964 penny in flawless condition. And the rarity is compounded by the fact that, despite millions of pennies minted in 1964, the survival of error coins in uncirculated condition is exceedingly limited, making these specimens coveted by collectors, investors, and museums alike, and beyond financial value. The 1964 penny represents a connection to American history, capturing a moment in time, reflecting the industrial and mechanical practices of the mint, and demonstrating the occasional fallibility of mass production, allowing collectors to hold in their hands a tangible artifact of human ingenuity and historical significance. And this narrative is enriched by stories of discovery, where collectors find rare specimens in old coin rolls, forgotten collections, or estate sales, generating excitement, discussion, and sometimes dramatic shifts in market awareness, all of which can influence perceived value. And the intellectual challenge of identifying errors, researching minting variations, comparing coins to reference guides, and consulting with experts is a major component of the coin's appeal, as it combines history, mechanics, art, and financial strategy into an engaging pursuit, with the thrill of discovering a rare coin offering both emotional satisfaction and potential financial reward. and in addition to double die off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks, some 1964 pennies also display rotational errors, where the obverse and reverse are misaligned relative to each other, producing coins with unusual orientation, a subtle but highly desirable anomaly that adds to the coin's uniqueness and collector appeal, and subtle die polish lines, surface texture variations, and edge anomalies further enhance value. As collectors recognize these as tangible evidence of the complex and human-driven minting process, and the presence of multiple such anomalies on a single coin creates a specimen that is both rare and historically significant, dramatically increasing its desirability, and the market for 1964 pennies is fueled by both rarity and narrative, as coins with dramatic errors become the center of collector attention, auctions, forums, publications, and coin shows, generating high demand, spirited competition, and occasional record-breaking sales, demonstrating that even coins with a face value of 1 cent can achieve astonishing market valuations when rarity, condition, historical significance, and market dynamics converge, and the 1964 penny is particularly compelling because it embodies both ordinariness and extraordinary characteristics, being part of a widely minted year yet containing subtle errors that elevate it into legend, showing that attention to detail, research, and patience can reveal treasures hidden within everyday currency. And the story of its errors, anomalies, and market impact serves as a case study in numismatics, illustrating how intellectual engagement, careful observation, and strategic acquisition can transform a common object into a highly valuable asset, and for those seeking to enter this market, understanding the nuances of minting errors, grading standards, collector psychology, and market trends is essential, because the true value of a 1964 penny lies not in its metal or face value, but in the convergence of rarity, condition, historical context, and collector demand, which, when leveraged correctly, can transform a simple cent into a coin worth millions, and the pursuit of such coins is an intellectual, emotional, and financial journey, rewarding diligence, patience, and expertise, while offering the thrill of holding a tangible piece of history, preserving a rare artifact for future generations, and participating in a dynamic and competitive world of numismatic discovery. And ultimately, the 1964 1-cent coin exemplifies how ordinary currency can become extraordinary through the convergence of error, scarcity, condition, and market demand, offering both a potential financial windfall and a rich historical narrative, continuing to captivate, inspire, and enthrall collectors around the globe. And for those willing to invest the time, study, and effort necessary to identify such rare coins, the 1964 penny represents not just a collectible but an opportunity, a story, a challenge,